Okay, everyone, hello and welcome. Welcome, how are ya? DSP here live on today's gameplay stream. It is the beginning of a brand new week here, and I am pumped, I am excited, and I am ready to head into the final countdown, the final push of Nioh. What a game this game has been so far. Holy crap, right? It was released a little under 2 weeks ago now. In fact, tomorrow will be the 2-week anniversary of the release of Nioh. And boy, does this game have an incredible amount of content. It is one of the longest games in recent memory, right? And sure, yes, it is challenging. Is it as challenging as the Dark Souls series? I don't know. I still am a little skeptical. We're near the end of the game here, and even though some of the stages are challenging, as you've noticed, it's not like really anything in the game has gotten me stuck, right? And I kind of have to compare that with Dark Souls, where typically when I play a Dark Souls game, I run into at least a portion of the game where I get stuck, and I end up having to replay over and over. A certain boss fight might take me, an hour to beat, or a certain stage might be incredibly tough, and it's whooping my ass, and it takes me a significantly long time to get past it. And that just really hasn't happened in this game. If anything, I think the longest fights that I've had lasted around maybe 20 minutes tops. And it was basically until I would learn the pattern of whatever I was fighting, and then I could pass it. Now, that could be a lot of factors. That could be that I am just better at these games. I just did my Dark Souls Redemption run, right? And this game does run at 60 frames per second, so it is easier to get timed reactions and things to tough boss fights, in my opinion. So, it is challenging, it is fun, it is unforgiving, but at the same time, I am constantly progressing. And I think that's one of the key factors of a good playthrough, is yeah, you can rage and you can get your ass whooped, but as long as you continuously progress, then it turns into something entertaining to continuously watch, right? So, thank you to those who have been here for the past 2 weeks, where I've been playing Nioh on and off, trying to push forward and get as far as I can. At this point, it looks like we're in the final kind of push for. So, to explain what I mean, apparently there are 7 main missions left, excuse me. I could be wrong, there could be 6, but I think there's 7 main missions left in the game. If I stay on my current pace and my current course, alright, that means that I should hopefully complete this game by the end of the week. Alright? What that means is, every day I'm playing Nioh on stream, every day I'm pushing forward, and I'm making solid progress. I'm at least completing one story-based mission. I'm doing the other side missions to maybe grind up a little bit and stay at a level where I can continuously keep going forward. So, we'll see. Fingers crossed that everything goes swimmingly this week. My goal for this week is to complete Nioh by the end of the week, because next week we have the release of Horizon Zero Dawn, and I really don't want this game leaking into that week, because not only do we have Horizon, at the end of the week we have the release of the Nintendo Switch and Zelda Breath of the Wild, and then the week after that we've got Ghost Recon Wildlands. So between those 3 new releases, I'm not going to have time to continue on with a game that I've been playing for 3 weeks. Okay? So I really need to push forward as much as I can here, and really try to finish up the game if I can by the end of this week. All right, so not really, trying to, really trying to just let you know what's coming up this next week. Yeah, it's going to be Nioh, and more Nioh as I head into the end game of the game here. All right. Okay, fair enough. I got a few things to talk about here on pre-stream. Some updates for everyone. Some interesting info, alright? First off, I want to say thank you to any of you who watched my review of For Honor. It is one of my highest performing reviews that I've ever done for YouTube so far. At least in recent memory, the past few years. This review has got 9,000 views in 24 hours. Now, my review is very polarized. It's not in line with what most of the game reviews for For Honor are saying, but I do give factual justification for what I'm saying, okay? It's just the fact that for me, I feel that that game was spoiled because of 4 critical flaws, while for a lot of people, they said, well, for us, those flaws aren't so big of a deal. And that's an issue of personal opinion, okay? But for the most part, at least people like the review, and people are, even if they disagree with it, it's opening up a line of discussion about these online-only games, these games where primarily the main component is supposed to be competitive multiplayer, right? And what is acceptable for a console version of one of these games in 2017? Because a lot of the issues that I had with For Honor are the fact that the game has peer-to-peer networking, only runs at 30 frames per second on consoles, right? And if you play the game on PC, the issues, sadly, aren't that big. And that's bullshit. Why is it that if you buy this game on PC, it actually runs at 60 frames per second, and those peer-to-peer connections actually perform better? Because a lot of people don't use things like wireless internet and stuff for their PCs. Versus if you play it on console, you're going to get wonkier internet connections, and you're going to get a lower frame rate from the get-go. It's bullshit. It's not equivalent, and you're paying the same amount of money for both versions of the game. It's just not fair. And at least, if anything, if people disagree with the review, at least it's opening up lines of discussion about that kind of a debate and how bullshit it is that you pay the same amount of money and you get 2 completely different versions of the game. It's not fair. So, thank you for that. If you haven't checked it out yet, check it out over at youtube.com/KOGaming1. I put a lot of work into the review, so I'm happy that it is getting, attention. I have no idea if it will increase in attention, because here's the thing. It all depends on YouTube's search engine. If YouTube actually decides to have my For Honor review show up in YouTube search results, it'll probably get some views. That's exactly what happened last year with my Homefront the Revolution review, with my Mirror's Edge Catalyst review, and with my 2 different videos about No Man's Sky. They actually showed up in YouTube search, and therefore, they actually got some viewership. So if they show up, great. If they don't, not much I can do. All right? Yeah, it's just kind of stuck in with the mass of crap that YouTube spews out there, and everything gets lost in the shuffle. So it is what it is. We'll see. I'm certainly pleased, at least in one day, with 9,000 views on the review. So thank you, everyone, for that. In regards to KO Gaming and the rest of this week, I have good news and a little bit of minor bad news. Let me get through the minor bad news first, just to get it out of the way, because I have good news I want to talk about, alright? It was exactly 1 week ago when I released the very first ever approved and official This Is How You Don't Play video on KO Gaming. It did really decent in views. It wasn't, super duper amazing. But at the same time, it did pretty good. Sadly, there's been kind of a misunderstanding between myself and the person who created the video. There was a misunderstanding in terms, let's put it that way. It had nothing to do with the content of the video or anything like that. But behind the scenes, something happened where there was a misunderstanding in the terms of being able to put your video up on KO Gaming. And after several discussions with this individual, we came to an amicable agreement where we decided that I'm just going to basically make the video not available. Alright? And so I did. The video is now private. Hey, it's been up for a week anyway. I really don't think it's going to get much additional viewership anyway outside of that first week. So it is not viewable anymore on the channel. Okay? So that's the bad news. But there's good news. The good news is that in the past week, I have had a flood of people contact me excited to become a part of the KO Gaming Community Submissions Program. In fact, I have, right now, I'm not even kidding, about 5 or 6 videos to review, okay? The first one is This Is How You Don't Play of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, the game from, I forget if that was late 2012 or early 2013. I do forget when it actually officially released. But, that being said, I believe it's almost a 2-hour-long video of going through my entire playthrough, similar to how really This Is How You Don't Play videos go. So that was just submitted to me this morning. I have to, go through it, see what I think about it, see if I like it, and or if I do like it, I have to, do some editing, and that's gonna possibly be a KO Gaming community submission. I just have to review it first, all right? In addition, someone submitted to me a very short, it was probably about 10 minutes long, kind of parody video and or funny montage of when I was playing Black Mesa, and I couldn't figure out how to do the crouch jumping. And that was one of the things that infamously started people kind of making fun of me on YouTube, because I couldn't figure out how to crouch jump because I'd never played Half-Life 1 before. I didn't even know that the mechanic existed. So that being said, that is also coming up. However, that submission unfortunately had a few issues, like volume level wasn't level. There was like a pretty jarring volume adjustments and stuff that needed to happen. And some suggestions I had to make it a little bit more digestible to my viewing audience. So I kind of went back to that person and said, listen, I like the video, but if you could do a couple tweaks, it would be a lot better for KO Gaming, all right? So, yeah, so that might be coming out as well. It depends on, how quickly this person can kind of adjust that video and get back to me. And then there's a third person who, over the years, has made This Is How You Don't Play videos. Basically all my old playthroughs. They don't really do anything for the new stuff, but they've done it for a lot of my older stuff, like the playthroughs I used to do with the camera, right? But then every once in a while, there's a dash of some of the new stuff that they work on too, okay? So they've got a bunch, and they've been basically saying, here, I'm going to submit all these, and I'm like, all right, hold on. What I need to do is I need to kind of skim through these videos that this person has made and find ones that I think would be a good first entry from this person, right? Let's take a video that's a first entry, take a look at it, see, if people like it, and if people like it, then I'll consider doing all the rest. But yeah, I have to go through those. So basically, I need to go through a bunch of freaking videos tonight. What I'm going to try to do tonight is go through and take the second half of today to skim through all this stuff. And if I find something that I really like, I'll edit it and I'll release it on KO Gaming as the next KO Gaming community submission, all right? But I need to go through it. I haven't had time, really, to sit down and review all these submissions I've been getting. It's been overwhelming because I didn't know how it was going to go. And then all of a sudden people were like, no, we like the fact that we can get our stuff featured on your channel. And, a lot of these people who make these videos, if you can believe it, and a lot of people probably won't believe this, but it's true. People who watch and make those videos a lot of the times are my biggest fans. It's just that they think that it's funny to do these kind of videos and make fun of me and laugh at the funny parts of my playthroughs where I'm failing constantly, right? Now, you're going to notice with these videos, they're not necessarily some of the nastiest ones either. You're not going to see people going absolutely crazy, making up crazy slanderous statements about me and stuff like that, all right? So we'll see. We'll see how things go. I'll review a lot of these tonight. I may or may not even be releasing one of these videos as a KO Gaming community submission tonight. We'll see. And we'll go from there. Okay? So we'll see. Play it by ear. The rest of this week, like I said, Nioh will be live streamed here on Twitch. So massive progress in Nioh this week. The second kind of half of every day this week is either going to be me working on a KO Gaming community submission or possibly playing some more Yakuza 0. And about halfway through this week, I'm going to do a vlog about my upcoming schedule changes. I've already talked about this 3 times now, but I'll mention it one more time. Starting next week, as of this time next week, my streaming times will be different, okay? It'll be an hour earlier. So right now, I already will have started with the gameplay by next week on Monday at this time, okay? So, yeah, it's going to be more streaming every day. It's going to be more work every day for me. But the trade-off here is that one day a week, I am going to be taking off. And I think this is going to be better for everyone. It's going to be better for me because I'll get a full day off to recuperate and relax and recover from the grind of being here every day on stream and editing every day and doing all this work-related stuff, right? And, what I'll do, I'll try to save up some videos possibly to release on the day off, okay? Or maybe, like, for example, let's say I have an episode of DSP Tries It. That would be the day that I release it, the day off. So it's kind of a different day. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's coming up. next week. And this vlog will fully explain how this is going to happen, how it's going to work, a little bit more about the behind-the-scenes stuff about me and YouTube and why this change is taking place, okay? All right. All right, anything else to talk about today? I'm trying to think. Not really. So what I will do, because we're about to get started here, is a few reminders and a few plugs of how you can help me, how we can continue to keep this going, how I can keep doing this as a job, as these nice gameplay streams for free every single day, and the raw gameplay content I put up on DSPGaming, and all the stuff I'm putting up on KO Gaming, the edited content, and the vlogging and everything. How can we keep this going? Well, obviously watching the streams and watching the videos. So thank you to everyone who's here every day to watch the streams and the videos. Appreciate that. For those who are watching this stream live on Twitch right now, you can subscribe to my channel here on Twitch. If you do that, you will get access to some premium emotes. All right. You also get a subscriber badge. And you also will avoid having to watch any kind of advertisements when I run a commercial break. Okay. So that is one way you can help. Another way is you can cheer with bits. And a lot of people have done this, and quite honestly, the reason that Twitch is now profitable for me, when I used to stream on Twitch years ago, it wasn't. It was like fan service because I made nothing doing this. And I'll be honest with everyone, running advertisements, you get nothing out of it. There was to give you some perfect perspective, I did a 4 to 5 hour long gameplay stream earlier this week. And every half an hour, I was taking a break to go stir my pot of Italian sauce, which I was making in my kitchen, and I ran a commercial break. Now, this stream had an average of 400 to 500 people watching, and every time I ran a commercial break, I was supposed to be making ad revenue. Guess how much ad revenue I made that day? $7. So, if that doesn't explain to you how it's not profitable to just basically stream on Twitch, I don't know how else I can explain it. But the subscriptions are definitely helping, and people who've been cheering with bits, it's been huge. People cheering with bits is a very profitable way to make some earnings here on Twitch for the live streaming. And it adds up, even though these are basically like micro donations, 10 cents here, $1 here. They add up, and this month in particular has been great. Okay, it really has. It's been very good for me live streaming on Twitch. So thank you to those who've been here every day. Thank you to those who are, doing cheers with bits. You guys are awesome. And, hopefully we can keep this up for the rest of the month. We got about a week left here till the end of February. This could be a good precedent to set. I love live streaming. I like the interactivity that I get to see people react to stuff immediately. That is a cool thing, to see how people react to this stuff in games immediately, rather than just doing a video, uploading it, and then having to read YouTube comments, basically. I like this a lot. So, we'll see what happens, but hopefully, people will continue to sub and continue to use bits to cheer. Thank you to those who have. That's a big way you can help me out if you're live on the stream, okay? Now, if you're not live on the stream, but you'd still like to help out, there's many other ways you could do so. You could use my Loot Crate referral link and discount code to buy a new Loot Crate subscription. If you go to lootcrate.com/darksidephil and you purchase any new subscription through that page, at checkout, use the code SAVEME10DSP. That's SAVEME10DSP. You could save 10%, and I get a little bit of referral credit for it, okay? So yeah, definitely, consider doing so if you are interested in Loot Crate. I unbox these all the time on the King of Hate vlogs. Or you could pledge to my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil. Your pledges on Patreon directly finance this business. They allow me to buy the games and the equipment. They allow me to pay my monthly bills. If I didn't have Patreon support for the past 2 years, I would not have been able to keep doing this on YouTube. I'm incredibly grateful to anyone who has pledged. Thank you very much. Right now, FYI, the big thing going on is patrons from the month of January are now voting on what game is going to begin as a patron's choice playthrough. At this point, it looks like it's going to be in March, because we need some time for this poll for people to vote on it. The nominations are games such as Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, Jak 3, Danganronpa, if that's even how you pronounce it, I don't even know. Oh God, what was the other one? Hold on, I got the list right here. Oh yeah. Let's see. Assassin's Creed Rogue, which is a game that I've had for years and never had a chance to play. So people are finally saying they want to see that, which would be pretty cool. People want to see that right away. Postal 2, which is a game that I started during a marathon a couple months back, and I never really had a chance to go back to it. Or Conception 2. I have no idea what Conception 2 is. I have zero idea. But these are the 6 games that are currently being voted on by January patrons for an upcoming playthrough. And, you know, I'm excited. Whatever ends up winning could be a fun playthrough that I'm going to be doing balanced with all the new releases coming out on the next few months, all right? So that's exciting. Now, this month's goal, meaning if we hit the funding level for the month of February, is, excuse me, a Worst Games Ever Marathon. So I want to clarify this process because someone unfortunately said that I was not being transparent enough with the way that this process works, and they were disappointed because they pledged in January and then their game didn't make it to the poll for this event coming up, and they were a little disappointed. So what I want to do here is I want to clarify how this works, all right? Here's how it works. You pledge $5 to my Patreon this month, all right? So by the end of February, so you have about a little over a week left. You have to pledge by midnight of the 28th, February 28th, to get in on the event, okay? If you do that, what happens? Well, you will be able to get premium forum access. What's going to happen is I'm going to message you on Patreon in early March and get your information. You need to create a forum account on the kingofhate.com forums. Once I have your forum information, I'm going to upgrade your account so you have access to a premium forum area. And in that area, you're going to be nominating games for this upcoming Worst Games Ever Marathon. Now, what's one of the worst games ever made? I'd like to see Phil play it. You're going to nominate the games there. After a couple weeks of this thread being open, I'm going to take all of those nominations and I'm going to sort them out by what was nominated the most, okay? And basically, the game that was nominated the most is going to make it to the poll. The game that was nominated the second most will make it to a poll. And then I'm just going to go down the line of games, you know, by how many times they were nominated. For example, with this current project of this Patron's Choice playthrough, every game that made it to the poll was nominated at least twice, okay? Now, some of the games were nominated way more than that, so, you know, but that's the process of elimination that I used. So I limited it down to 6 options in this current poll. I may do that for this Worst Games Marathon too, we'll see. So once, you know, about 2 weeks pass and the people have nominated, I close the nominations thread, I create the poll based on what games were nominated the most, and then for about another 2 weeks or so, patrons get to vote on that poll, and then the winner of that poll becomes the games for the upcoming event. So in this case, since this is going to be a marathon, not an actual full playthrough, this Worst Games Marathon, it'll probably end up being 3 to 4 games in that poll that I'll end up be playing in this marathon. Okay, so hopefully what I just did kind of disclosed more information, all right? Hopefully. I don't know if there's more confusion or whatever, but pledge $5 or more by the end of this month. You can nominate and then vote on games for this upcoming Worst Games Marathon, all right? Now, if you don't care, about that, not a big deal. However, as little as $1 helps. Every little bit that people pledge to my Patreon every month allows me to keep doing this as a job. I love doing this. I wouldn't want to stop doing this if in any way I could keep doing it. I want to. All right, and it's been your support over the past several months that has kind of gotten me through a really tough time, and I hope that we can get through this. So thank you, everyone, for your support. I appreciate it. Check it out if you haven't, patreon.com/DarksidePhil. And then last but not least, my girlfriend Leanna owns her own business called The Black Current, where she sells handmade glycerin soaps and wax tart melts. You've been seeing the link to this business on your screen the entire time during the pre-stream here. It's that etsy.com/shop/The Black Current link. Check it out and consider, getting some of her awesome products. She's been in operation for 2 years. She sold hundreds of orders worldwide. She ships out internationally as well. Check it out, the website, for details on that. And she's about to celebrate her 2-year anniversary of this business being open. And therefore, you may be seeing a sale going on shortly. Hint, hint, hint. if you've maybe been eyeballing some product, there's going to be a sale soon, okay? All right, that's it, folks. There was a lot of information to cover in the pre-stream today. Thanks for being patient. I'm now going to start with the actual gameplay of Nioh on the stream. Thanks, everyone, and let's begin.